welcome to a new episode of Falling Upwards. Now, we are trying a little shift around in the format, as you know that we're doing, to try and give you the best possible show episodes that we possibly can. And I will at first welcome my lovely host today, Maddie Armstrong. I'm not going to ask you how you're doing. Hello.
Hi. I'm going to ask how you're doing, though, MA, my co-host, who never introduces herself.
Thank you. I'm pretty good. And both Maddie and I are quite excited because we do have a guest coming onto the lawn today. He is Raj Ghatak. You may have seen him in loads of things, loads and loads and loads of different projects. He is about to feature in the producers at the Gatak Theatre, and we are going to talk about that. But he has been in some very lovely projects across his career, including Doctors, Starter for 10, Christopher Robin, so EastEnders, loads and loads of projects that you might have seen. You're a big Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin fan, aren't you, Matt?
I am, yeah. I've grown up with it. I've got Tigger as my phone background, actually.
Oh. Well, I feel like that's something that you need to ask him then, what it was like being Christopher Robin and working with the lovely animals, creatures, characters from the 100 Acre Wood. People? But they're not humans. Does that...
They're people in Winnie the Pooh.
This is a whole big question now. Again, it's something else that we need to ask him. But no, he's been in some amazing things, including the stage version of Life of Pi, the very beloved film, book, and stage play. He's just an absolutely fantastic actor that has probably gone under your radar a little bit.
Wow.
Welcome to the lawn.
Thank you.
We're obviously going to talk about your wonderful career and about the producers coming up very, very soon, but we are going to kick off with our lawn questions. What's your favourite failure?
All of them. I think as much as failure is very uncomfortable and I don't like to fail, I think once you get over it and you bounce back, I think there's always something to learn. And I think as an actor, as someone who's self-employed, there are several times that you go for an audition or you go for a meeting and you don't get the job. Now, that's not a failure, but it can sometimes be seen as a failure. And when you can shift the focus to no, when you don't get a job, it's not a rejection, it's a no, there's a win in that. So I think there are failures that happen all the time.
Are there any jobs that you didn't get that you hoped you would get, where when you see them afterwards, you're like, oh, thank God. You know, once we're like, thank God I did not get that. That would have been worse if I had got that.
Yes. Yeah, there are some jobs that you really want when you read about them and you know, or you meet with the team and you think, oh, I'd really like to do this. And then for whatever reason, it doesn't go your way. And then you watch the job and you kind of go, okay, I think there was a reason I wasn't meant to get that. And I'm not going to say what they were.
If failure was a little inside out character in your head, what would failure look like to you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to say a little green man because that's what's popped into my head.
Of course, before we start talking about your career, the lawn is your lawn. It's, you know, we always say it's the safe space for you to talk about anything that you want to talk about. What does your lawn / safe space look like? Is it like your favorite room in the house? Is it genuinely like, I know Mads likes a nice green lawn, so do I, but is that it for you? What would you say yours looks like?
I'm not great with grass. So I get hay fever.
Oh.
Oh no.
So yeah, so my lawn would not be grass, I'm afraid. And I've just, even as a baby, my parents, you know, would sit me on the grass and I would just kind of get off it. Yeah.
Really?
So yeah, so mine might be a beach.
A beach. Do you have any beach in mind? Do you have a favorite beach spot?
I don't actually. Just somewhere that's sandy, hot, and not too populated.
Nice. I know, Maddie, you like a quiet beach, don't you?
Yeah, well, actually, the beach I was thinking is a noisy beach. I don't know if you've heard of Whistling Sands in Wales.
No.
But that's a beach that makes quite an amount of sound when you walk on it because of the way the sort of sand granules move against each other. It squeaks on every step, and that's why they call it Whistling Sands.
No, I've not come across that. I shall have to look into it. No, a lot of the time, because, you know, when you're working really hard. Excuse me. So a lot of the time, sometimes when you're ready for a break, that's it. You just want to tune out. So just somewhere hot. And I'm brown, so I have a genetic predisposition to need to be in a hot climate.
Where are your favorite holiday hotspots? When you're finally offset and you're like, I just want to get away, do you have places you keep going back to?
I used to go back to the south of Spain quite a lot. There was a place there, but we sold that, so I don't go there anymore. So now actually it's about finding somewhere new or finding different places.
For a lot of people that aren't acquainted with what actors do, and obviously you have such an illustrious career across both theatre and on screen, can you illustrate to them how hectic kind of set life or theatre life is? How hard is it to find your piece and kind of to stay grounded amongst it all?
Sure. So for the people who are muggles, as we call them, I kind of so people that are non-actors, they're from an actor's perspective. I'm only going to speak for myself, but I know I'm not the only one who thinks this way. It does feel like a general life would feel like that, whereas an actor's life can feel like that. And so a lot of the time, it's about navigating the peaks and the troughs and finding your way on the way up to the peak and down. And so therefore, those emotions and experiences can be more intense and can be greater. So, you could be on a red carpet for a movie premiere one day, and then the very following day, you've got no work or you're doing a temp job, which has happened to me many years ago. I was flown for a film I was in. I was on the red carpet. I was one of the leads of the film. And then the following day, I was on a plane back, and then I was doing a temp job. And when you just go, what is my life? I don't know what this is. But in terms of, say, for example, I'm in the producers at the moment. So we do 8 shows a week. We run Monday to Saturday. We have 2 shows on a Thursday, 2 shows on a Saturday. On a single show day, Mondays and Tuesdays, the shows are at 7 o'clock. And then from Wednesday to Saturday, the evening shows at 7:30 and the matinee is at 2:30. So on a single show day, although you're actually physically working for 2.5 hours, the rest of the 22.5 hours or 21.5 hours are geared towards being ready to be on stage. So that means doing vocal warm-ups, getting your voice ready, because this is a musical, so your voice has to be ready to sing. Mine isn't at the moment, it's still the morning. You need to be physically ready, so that means you might need to go to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, do you need to steam, either in a steam room or vocally steam? Your nutrition, your hydration. Hydration is really key. What to eat, when to eat. If you have any food intolerances, avoid those. If wheat or gluten puffs you up, try and avoid those because you don't want to go on stage feeling puffy or heavy. Dairy can give you vocal clag, so you don't want that, or chocolate or fizzy drinks because you'll be burpy. So there's a whole world in which you can learn to navigate yourself. And similarly with going on set, if you need to, when you're on set, obviously there's breakfast, lunch and dinner that's provided to you depending on your call time. But depending on what your costume is, what your character is, you may need to factor that in.
Wow, so much goes into it. I never imagined that you'd have to ensure that you don't get the need to hiccup or burp on stage.
Well, when have you ever seen anyone do it?
Yeah, true. Have you ever needed to sneeze or something on stage and you just fought back?
I have sneezed on stage twice in my career.
That's not bad. Twice is not bad.
Yeah, how did you smooth it over? Did you sort of integrate it into the performance?
Very bizarrely, it happened on different days, but in the same scene.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really strange. And but when it happened, I wasn't the key. I wasn't the center of it, so I kind of got away with it. But when it happened the first time, I was on stage and just went, and then you're back.
What was it about that scene that made you sneeze? Do you know?
I have no idea. Never happened before or since. So it was that thing of going. But also when you're when you're waiting in the wings for your cue in theatre, you're at a heightened state, and you're literally waiting for your cue line. And then once you're out on stage, you're just present, hopefully, in that moment, in that scene, and whatever you're thinking and whatever you're experiencing is what you should be to play that scene.
Have you ever been so immersed in a scene that you have forgotten to do like a cue that you were meant to do?
No, because acting is about acting and reacting. So the thing is that when someone gives you your cue line, or if you're in a scene with someone, you need to respond to that. Sometimes it has happened that actors can forget their lines, or they forget, and we call it drying, when you dry. And sometimes you can see someone will just kind of look at you and you go, are you doing something new, or have you dried? And if you're on stage, it's live, and if it's a musical, then if it's underscored, then you have to keep going because the music can't, the band are playing.
I remember you just made me think of, there was one role I was in when it was like one of my very, very first roles when I was still very young. I want to say like in my very early 20s. And I was in like a massive Victorian gown, and we had party hats, and someone's party hat fell off. And I think it was like 2 nights before press night. So we were still you're still ironing the kinks out, right? And someone's hat fell off, which was not meant to happen. And you could see in everyone's face, they were like, okay, one of us, yeah, genuinely.
They caught.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where, because the hat was nearest to me, and I was like, do I pick it up? Is that person going to pick it up? And you literally, what you said just reminded me of that.
Yeah. And when something like that happens, that happens because you're in the moment, it's live, everybody then starts to think, okay, can I pick it up? If I don't pick it up, who picks it up? And if I don't pick it up, then what happens is your brain kind of splits in two. So you're still saying your lines and you're still in the scene, but the other part of your brain is trying to formulate how to rescue the situation, because, well, so-and-so is going to come on stage in a minute, and then this is going to happen. So does that mean that, oh no, we can leave it? Okay, we can leave it. No, I don't know. And that happened.
Talk to us more about the producers. It's such an iconic show. What was it like to get the part? What was the process like for you?
So I had seen the show on Broadway. I'd seen the show in the West End, and I'd watched both films. Yet bizarrely, this is not a show I ever thought I would be in. My background is straight text and straight plays. I have been in musicals. And Carmen Gear has always been played by a white man. So when I was told that they wanted to meet with me, I was a bit like, okay. And then I met with the team. They were really friendly. And then Mel Brooks had to give me his personal approval. So my meeting was filmed and it was sent to LA. And I met with him on a Friday afternoon. And on the Monday morning, I got an email saying, pending Mel Brooks's approval, we'd love to offer you the job. And I was like, pending Mel Brooks's approval? And I had to wait a week, by which point I was like, at the time then, I was like, he's 98. What happens if I don't get his approval? Does that mean I can't do the job? But I got the job. I got the Mel Brooks seal of approval, which it still blows my mind. It's still incredible. And so we did the show the first time at the Menier Chocolate Factory. And we rehearsed in the autumn, and we opened for previews in November last year, and we ran through till March the 1st. Mel Brooks sent a video for Good Luck Message, and we opened in December, and we had really good reviews. And then Mel Brooks left a voice note to announce the transfer to the West End on the night we closed on March the 1st.
Wow.
And we have just opened at the Garrick Theatre. And it's great fun. So for those of you that are unfamiliar about the plot, it's about two it's called The Producers because it's about two Broadway producers who meet and realize that they can make a fortune by producing a Broadway flop instead of a success, because they can keep all the money that they've raised from their investors. So they then go on a journey to find the worst script with the worst director and the worst cast. And it's about the comedy that ensues in that random, silly scenario, because actually they're actively looking to produce a flop. And so they find a script written by somebody, and that script is called Springtime for Hitler. And then they find the worst director, who is Roger Debris, and I play Roger Debris' common law assistant. I play Carmen Gia. And then we audition people and we put on the show, and then stuff happens. I'm not going to give it all away.
What's the audience reception felt like so far?
It is electric, every single show. The show is old enough for a lot of people not to know the original source material or to have seen either of the two films. So some people are coming and they don't really know what they're coming to. They've just heard word of mouth is good. Oh, it's funny. So they're coming to that. And then they come and see it, and you can just see the look on the audience's face going, what am I watching? Because the times in which we live in, the current culture, this is not that. This is very un-PC. This is very not correct in a glorious way, and it's delicious. And the audiences, both at the Chocolate Factory and in the West End, they're very grateful to be able to laugh as hard as they are.
Oh.
And you realize how starved of belly laughter we've become. It doesn't really happen anymore. And one of the phrases that the audience would use at the Chocolate Factory quite a lot was that this was like therapy. Thank you. This was like a therapy session. Because of the show goes at 1,000 miles an hour. So you turn your brain off and you just engage with the story and you let it wash over you. And the cast are phenomenal. The music is great. The story, I mean, it's a win-win-win-win. And, we had press night on Monday. The reviews were out yesterday, and it's a tub-thumping hit. We've had 5 stars across the board, unanimously. Standing ovations every show, even the matinees. It's amazing.
That's amazing. Mads and I, when we were introing you, were talking about the fact that you have been in some iconic properties. This is just one of, another that you've been a part of. Do you have any favorites out of all of them? Both of us love Christopher Robin, not gonna lie.
Okay.
But do you have a personal favorite?
That's like asking to choose
favorite child.
I'm not a parent, but I imagine it's like asking to choose between your children. There are different projects I like for different reasons. This is a dream I never knew I had. So this is a dream come true to be in The Producers, but it's not something that was ever on my list. I was at the National Theatre. That was amazing to be in The Father and the Assassin. I've got a feature film. I've got 2 feature films coming out. One called Hostages, which is a British independent. And then there's another one called 3 Bags Full, where I worked with Hugh Jackman, who was lovely. I was in a TV series called Ackley Bridge and Dead Set. They were good. I was at the Royal. So there's with every job there, you can absolutely identify the merit. So it's really hard to pick.
Do you think you prefer stage or screen more?
I think it depends on the project and the role. I think it depends on the gig. I love doing both. I just like to work, to be quite frankly. And I think on screen it's a very different discipline, and obviously your parameters are a lot smaller, so everything is a lot more intense and smaller. And you don't get the instant payoff that you do with theatre. So we're on screen, quite often you're having to do many takes, and sometimes that's not about you. There's sometimes the lighting isn't correct, or there's a microphone shadow. So you have to go again, and that's nothing to do with you. And then you've got to do the reverse angle then you've got to do a 2-shot. So it takes a very different skill. Whereas theatre, you spend weeks rehearsing, and in something like a comedy, you know when you've got it right because you hear the audience laugh. But then there's a skill in when to come in with your next line. Because if you come in too soon, it's like you surf the crest of a wave. Because if you come in too soon, the line is lost in the laughter. And if you come in too late, then the moment's gone. So you've got to pitch it just right.
Wow.
Maddie did want to ask you a Christopher Robin related question.
What is your favourite Winnie the Pooh character? Because I'm a big Tigger fan.
Oh, same. Tigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Lovely. I mean, I've got him as my phone background as well. Don't know if you can see that.
Why Tigger for you?
Well, when I was at school, there was a Pooh club, and and I was Tigger in the Pooh club.
Oh.
And I think it's just because I'm bouncy, fun.
That's lovely.
Wait, what did that entail in the Pooh? Like, did you dress up as the characters?
No,
and
we just met, and we would just talk, and sometimes someone would read a story, one of the Pooh, an excerpt from a Pooh thing. It was something at school, really. But yeah, I think Tigger is the most fun one.
Would you want to play Tigger in a adaptation someday?
Yes. No, I was about to say something, but I can't.
But
nothing.
you can't.
But I would like to, yes.
You've been around for so long. How have you seen opportunities for South Asian actors change, improve, shift over time?
Okay, it's quite a poignant question because you catch me as I'm experiencing something at the moment. Generally, things have got better. Certainly from when I started out. You didn't see people that looked like me on TV and film and theatre. And I did a show called Bombay Dreams many years ago, which broke the glass ceiling, certainly for South Asian actors. And there are now actors who I've worked with who have approached me in a rehearsal room or on set and said, I was allowed to be an actor because of that show, which is a really incredible thing. And the first time someone told me that I came to see that show with my family and I was allowed to be an actor because of you, I burst into tears because you just don't know when you're doing a job who you're going to touch, move and inspire. You're doing it because it's a job and you're being a professional. Smash cut to 22 years later, now in the producers. There are 6 principal roles, of which I am one of the principals, and I am the only principal of colour in a role that has never been played by a person of colour. Yet, in the reviews, I read reviews. In all the broadsheets, I am the only principal not to be mentioned. So there is very real erasure that is still happening, and it is only people that from within the community know it to be true, and people from the outside don't see it as a problem. And if you raise the point, then you're being told that, oh no, it's not really the case. It is the case. I've read the reviews. I am not there. And some of the reviews say, Roger Debris sings the song Keep It Gay. Well, actually, I sing the song Keep It Gay along with Roger. The two of us start the song. Yeah, I've just been omitted and erased. So yes, there's progress. It still needs to get a lot better. We're nowhere near where we could be. And then you also get what I'm experiencing now, which is not new and not the first time.
Thank you so much for talking about this. Really, truly. We often notice how little spotlighting the Asian actors or even spotlighting works by Asian people are raised to begin with. So you talking about that so openly is, I think, meaningful for both of us,
Yeah, I think there is progress, but I think certainly in terms of casting, I'm sure the casting directors will kill me, but if they're going diverse on a role, unless they have a particular idea of which ethnicity they're going for, it kind of feels like they'll go for black, mixed race black, then South Asian, then East Asian, maybe. That's the kind of pecking order, as opposed to necessarily, and there are casting directors who also don't have that pecking order and will really mix it up and go, no, I want you because of you, not your ethnicity. So there are those people, and there are champions out there, and I've had people champion me, for which I'm very, very grateful. But say in terms of a TV series and a film, we don't get to carry them. We'll get to be the best friend. We'll get to be the doctor. We'll get to be the support role or the service role. We're not really there yet, I don't think.
We like to always end our guest time on the lawn, with a few little nice items for our listeners. So firstly, we have something called the exchange, where you get to suggest something apart from what you're promoting that you think our listeners should check out right now that you're enjoying. What are you enjoying that you'd love them to check out?
I'm in a cartoon. I do a lot of voiceovers, and it's called Piri Penguins, which is available on BBC iPlayer and CBeebies. And I play a penguin called Brinicle, and it's set on an iceberg, and it's really good fun. So I'd really encourage you to watch it. It's on ITV, It's on BBC iPlayer, and on CBeebies. And it's called Piri Penguins. And I play a very posh penguin called Brinicle, who's very dramatic with a red bow tie.
Cute.
That sounds amazing.
We love our cute cartoons. Myself and Emma, we're like big fans of Bluey. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but
yeah. So so when they started to air CBeebies, this was on after Bluey.
Oh,
amazing. Wow.
Lovely.
Do you have a sign-off message that you'd like to share with our listeners? So we've had anything. It can be silly, it can be meaningful, whatever you'd like people to last hear from you.
I would invite people to always try and go outside of their comfort zone. Try new experiences, see different things. If you're not sure if you like it, at least you've tried it. And come and see the producers at the Garrick Theatre.
Yes, come and see.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Raj.
That's all right. Thank you for having me.
You've been lovely.
Oh, thank you.
How lovely was he, Maddie? How lovely was Raj?
He was
so lovely.
He was like the full package, because he was enlightening about something very important, which I'm glad that we have our little platform to be able to like put that on. I love how he talks about how people don't really belly laugh anymore. I mean, I agree.
True, we don't.
I thought that was mainly just because I'm depressed, but maybe other people don't belly laugh either.
No, I don't either. I was thinking that too. I was like, do we laugh?
Nothing is funny.
Do we laugh at things anymore? Do we smile at things anymore? Or are we all just caught up in our terrible scrolls of just endless doom? And I don't know. Is that what
everything is just nose exhales,
Yeah. And I don't usually like to talk about my personal stories here, but him talking about theatre did genuinely remind me of that hat situation. That haunts me because nobody picked up the hat. And then afterwards, the director was like, Emma, you were closest to the hat. You could have picked up the hat. And I was like, sorry. Because no. You know what it was? It's because the time I was like, I'm very time focused, as you know. And I had to get off stage very quickly, I think, because I had a costume change. And so I was like, all that was in my head was like, you've got to do this costume change. As I said, it was very early in the run. If it was later in the run, maybe I would have been like, I'll pick up the hat because I'm not stressed about how fast my costume change is. But at the time, I was super stressed about it. And so I didn't pick up the hat. And that does haunt me. I know that sounds silly that it haunts me, but it does haunt me that I didn't pick up that hat. But shall we go to the exchange? Raj has given us a lovely exchange. Maddie, what is your exchange?
I'm going to exchange a band called Private Island because I've been listening to every single one of their songs and I'm obsessed.
I am going to exchange Wave a Flag. I'm waving a flag right now. It's a green flag because, it's the podcast and lawns and green.
And we are green flags.
I hope so. Maybe.
Yeah. Why would we not be?
No, because I feel. Do you ever see people's posts about breakups or like people that they're not sure if they should get into a relationship with? And sometimes when I read those, I'm like, is everything a red flag? I feel like some people can make a red flag out of anything. He wears cardigans. They look too feminine. Red flag. Do you know what I mean? I've genuinely seen that. Or it's like, oh, he sees his mum once a week. He's a mama's boy. Red flag. I don't think seeing one's parents once a week is a red flag.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think that's a red flag at all.
Them to love their parents.
Exactly. But we've got off topic, but wave flags, there's something very therapeutic about me doing this right now. I'm feeling like I'm in a good place. Just waving these. It's nice.
Channeling your inner race starter.
100%. Well, Raj gave us a lovely sign-off message. I do like when we get those.
Yes.
I love our fun ones and I love our deep ones. Woo! What's your sign-off message today, Maddie?
Try out biphasic sleep if you're struggling with sleep. And if that doesn't work, try triphasic sleep. And if that doesn't work, try quadphasic sleep. And if that doesn't work, die. No, I'm joking. Just try different things.
In relation to sleep, have you done all of these?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite out of all the sleep types?
Probably just monophasic sleep, to be honest with you. I like a big chunk and maybe a little nap later on in the day.
Okay. I'll be honest, you've thrown me with that one. Didn't expect that at all. My sign-off message will be moisturize. You know what? One, because I'm looking at moisturizer right now.
Moisturizers.
You say that. I don't know why this episode has turned into Emma's weird stories from her jobs. There was one job I was on where one of my male co-stars revealed to everybody that he did not moisturize. And when I tell you, people in that makeup room lost their minds. They were like, what? He was like, yeah, I don't wash my face or moisturize. And everyone was like, excuse me?
Wash?
Right?
He doesn't wash?
No, as in he washes, but he doesn't wash his face. You know, like how you and I, we'd wash our faces before going to bed. Didn't do that. People lost their minds, I tell you.
How does his face get clean?
I don't know. He was like in his 20s as well. So it wasn't just like he was a kid and he just like hadn't learned this or I don't know. He had gone through like a good 20 years of his life without ever washing his face or putting on moisturizer. I just thought of that because Raj mentioned putting on moisturizer. So moisturized. But he was, you know, a lot of the things he was saying that he did to prep, which I should probably do more of.
I'm not surprised. He has good skin.
But I was going to say they're actually just peak really good self-care tips.
Yeah.
Moisturize, hydrate, sleep well, steam. We could all actually do with more of that, to be fair.
Yeah. He really takes good care of himself.
He does. Like just independent of the fact that that's all helpful to him as an actor, that is actually just really good self-care.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be my message. Steam and self-care more. And moisturize. Please moisturize. The Producers is running at the Garrick Theatre right now, starring the lovely Raj Ghatak and a brilliant cast. So do go and check it out if you are in London anytime soon. We will put more details down in the show notes, as you know.
And if you review, include Raj. He is one of the main 6.
Maddie has ordered you to, but also do it because you should.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, as always, for listening to another episode of Falling Upwards.